Good evening. It's Friday the 9th of July 2021 and it's time for Boris's Best of British Bulletin, episode 42 with me, DaviePHD. Now this week we're doing a birthday special. Firstly, it was America's birthday. Last Sunday was the 4th of July, so cue everyone's least favourite Scots Tory branch office Tory, Andrew Bowie MP, proving beyond a doubt that he is totally unaware of the concept of irony by wishing the United States of America a happy Independence Day. Now I'm not sure if Andrew's just being sarcastic, ironic or deliberately obtuse, but none of those things are good. So luckily I was there to point out what a tube he was being. Next up, it was the NHS's birthday. 73 years old this week. Now of course we've always appreciated the NHS, but we've never been as fortunate to have it as we have during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the nation has shown their appreciation. We clapped for them at 8 PM every Thursday. The Prime Minister often joined in, whilst his government simultaneously denied them all a pay rise. Then we offered them and those in our care services a wee badge, for which they had to pay £8 each. Now, as if those magnificent shows of appreciation weren't enough, Her Majesty the Queen awarded the NHS the George Cross last week. Not one each, you understand. No. They've got to share it between all 1.4 million NHS employees. Now, as you can imagine, sycophantic politicians were quick out of the blocks to big up Her Majesty's magnificent gesture. Andrew Bowie again, Tory Party Vice Chair and Scots Tory Branch Office MP for West Aberdeenshire and Kincardine, tweeted without even a hint of irony, "For all the amazing people in our NHS. So well deserved." Thankfully, SNP Peterhead were on hand to set him straight. As if an intervention from Andrew Bowie wasn't ironic enough, Home Secretary Priti Patel got involved too. But to give this a bit of context, it's worth winding the clock back just a wee bit. On the 14th of June, Priti Patel had a go at the England football team for taking the knee, saying it was gesture politics. But on them beating Ukraine, she'd immediately forgiven them. And once Her Majesty had kindly awarded each of the 1.4 million NHS workers a share of a medal, Priti Patel tweeted this. Luckily, SNP Peterhead were on the case again to remind her of her dislike of gesture politics. But the NHS did get a worthwhile birthday present this week. In a rare outbreak of something scientists are calling common sense, the new UK Health Secretary Sajid Javid ruled out Baroness Dido Data Breach Harding from becoming the new Chief Executive of the NHS. Baroness Dido Data Breach Harding, the former head of NHS Test and Trace, was seen as the preferred choice of Matt Hancock until he was caught diddling his assistant and forced to resign as Health Secretary. A senior government source said of Baroness Dido Data Breach Harding earlier this week, "People don't think she's the right person to lead the NHS as we enter a new phase." And we at DaviePHD's Indy vlog couldn't agree more. We don't think Baroness Dido Data Breach Harding should be in charge of anything more demanding than a school fete. The former chief executive of TalkTalk had vowed to use her private sector experience of allowing massive data breaches of our personal data to occur, winning Worst Customer Service Awards, her marriage to the Tories' anti-corruption champion, along with her existing incompetence if she were to get the NHS role. At one point in October last year, ahead of the second lockdown which came in November, Baroness Harding's test and trace system hit a record low with just 59.6% of contacts of people who tested positive for the disease being successfully contacted and told to self-isolate. Whilst at the same time a similar system set up by a Scottish local council with existing staff was hitting 96%. She was ridiculed when she claimed nobody was expecting to see the really sizable increase in demand for COVID checks as schools returned last year. She blamed the government's Scientific Advisory Group for Emergencies, SAGE, for seemingly getting its predictions wrong. But she didn't think at all to fall back on her own lived experience as a parent to predict that schools would go back after the holidays and that kids getting together spread germs around like they're buttering toast. Baroness Dido data breach Harding's inept stewardship of the £37 billion test and trace system was branded the most wasteful and inept public spending programme of all time by the former head of the Treasury. In even more shocking news, it seems that the frontrunner for the role is Miss Amanda Pritchard, currently the Chief Operating Officer of the NHS. Reportedly, Miss Pritchard is qualified, experienced, efficient and highly capable. Colleagues say she is the person who delivers quietly rather than making a big song and dance about it. Rather surprisingly, she's not friends with anyone in government, she's not married to any Tory MPs, and rumours exist that she may not even be a member of the Conservative Party. Boris Johnson is reportedly totes confused at how someone who's not even a Tory with no connections and has never even been to Eton can make it through the rigorous vetting process based on mere qualifications, experience and competence. Scots Tory branch office list MSP Maurice Golden lashed out at the Scottish Government this week as school COVID testing dropped to the lowest figures since they began. But that's just the problem that affected Oban last week, Maurice. Lack of research. Scottish schools were closed for the last week of June, hence the corresponding drop in testing. Ah well, never mind, Maurice. You could always complain about next week's school truancy figures if you're bored. And the final birthday to celebrate this week is ours. DaviePHD's Indy vlog itself is 1 year old today. From humble beginnings we now have almost 1,500 followers, tens of thousands of monthly engagements, and hopefully we positively contribute to the Indy debate. So, here's to our next birthday. Thanks for watching folks. DaviePHD.